All right. Welcome, beautiful, beautiful women. Say hello if you're watching, and hashtag replay if you are watching the replay. Hey, Bella. And today, hey, Kat. Today, we are jumping on board for the live Q&A, and it is around. Okay, so you might know that you want to increase the love for your body, or that you want to increase sexual desire. You want to feel more sexy, and the question always comes up like, but how? Like, how do I do this? And that is, quite a complex answer. But I'm going to narrow it down just to one principle today. So know me, my name is Sarah. I'm a women's sexuality coach, and I just love women becoming more embodied, prioritizing pleasure, and feeling that sexual aliveness, that sexual desire, and total love for their body. So I run a Facebook group called Women's Libido Rising, and come check that out if you are interested to know more. So, this question of how, I was on a women's retreat just this past weekend, which was so cool. The transformation was epic. And this was the question that kept coming up. So I want to break this down into what it means to drop into your body. Okay, so how I would answer this is one simple sentence or one simple question to simplify it all down is listen to your body. Okay, listen to the wisdom of your body. And that sounds like a simple thing, but it's actually quite difficult to implement. When you think about connecting in with your body, and everyone will be at varying stages of how much they can feel inside of their body, and that relates to your past experiences, any trauma that you've had, and the type of lifestyle that you lead. But we can start to feel into and think about how we feel inside of our bodies right now. So bring your attention just to your breath and notice how that comes into your body. And notice how before your awareness maybe wasn't on your breath. Okay, maybe your awareness wasn't on your lungs expanding or your heart space. But now that we have brought attention there, it starts to build more of a mind body connection. So, on a very simple illustration, is the more time and the more attention that you put into focusing on what is happening inside of your body, then the more you'll be able to access your emotions and your sensations. And emotions and sensations, although sensations are the byproduct of an emotion, is the absolute essential ingredient for you to be able to shift limiting beliefs and to move into a place of real pleasure. Okay, so it's pretty difficult to feel pleasure in your body or feel love towards yourself, self love, if you are not able to feel that love. Okay, so your mind and your brain is for thinking, okay, and that's, we call that mindset work, and we talk about that in terms of how you think or what you think about yourself. The body is for feeling, right? And unless you are really giving yourself the time and the space to feel, and by that I mean consistently dropping into the body, then you won't be able to access the amount of pleasure and and emotions that come with that, and therefore won't be able to feel that deep sense of self-love or self-connection. And that's essential, because if you think about your body or you look at your body, you're going to have a couple of different thoughts or feelings towards that, right? You may be thinking, oh, my body looks ugly, my body looks disgusting, oh my god, I've put on so much weight, oh, I'm getting older, right? Or there can be a, oh wow, no matter how my body ages or changes, there is a sense of love and a sense of care. Okay, so let's talk about sensations and why they're so important. Every time you have an emotion, okay, like love towards your body, like love towards your partner, like a feeling of being aroused, of erotic pleasure, there will always be a physiological response. Okay, there will always be a physiological response to an emotion. And you know this intuitively already. So if you are feeling happy, how does that show up in your body? Yeah, I know when I'm feeling happy, I feel like my heart's way more open. I feel like I'm smiling way more. Yeah, I feel sometimes like a lightness in my body. How else do I feel? Yeah, like a bubbling. I would call it like a bubbling energy. And the same thing, like let's say that you're feeling stressed. How does that show up in your body? Well, I know that I can get like a tension and anxiety in my stomach. It feels like I'm in knots. It feels like everything's kind of constricted. I can feel my posture starting to close down. My energy comes up and out of my body, so I don't feel super grounded. I feel like I'm kind of in my head running around. Cool. So we know that the body has physiological responses to what we're experiencing in the moment in our environment and how we are feeling, right? So we can start to harness this and start to access this. And this is what I was saying about dropping into your body more and noticing what is happening, what is going, because in the world generally that we're living in, we're moving from one thing to another. Okay, we're rapidly and quickly going, okay, I've got my to do list, I need to do this, I need to do this, I do this. And it doesn't really leave a lot of time to drop in and to truly feel. Okay, so we're just going to take a moment to pause right now. You may be watching this at all times in the day. For me, right now, it's midday. A great time just to go, cool. Our brains are awesome. They work for us, they allow us to get stuff done. And also, where is the space and where is the opportunity to notice how we are feeling and to drop into the body? And remember that as we start to track our sensation, okay, and track our emotion, this is what leads to amazing, incredible pleasure. Yeah, without this connection, like you can think about pleasure, right? But if you want to feel pleasure in your body, you need to be in your body. Okay, you need to notice the sensations and what's happening. And as you start to notice that, then you can start to go, oh, cool, my body's starting to feel like a little bit more fluid, like a little bit more turned on. Oh, I can feel, things starting to move and starting to flow. Cool. So let's just take a moment now. I'm going to invite you to just take a breath. And take a breath into your heart space and into your belly. And just take this moment, this precious moment, is all that we have right now. And notice if there's anything going on in your body. And sometimes the easiest sensation to start to feel into is tension. So notice the parts of your body that perhaps are feeling some tension. And see if there's any room to relax them. Sending breath there, taking this moment for you, just to check in. And is there any temperature differences going on in your body? Again, we often don't associate temperature, for example, with an emotion. It's usually related always to the outside world, but if you really think about it, there are times where you might feel cold and clammy if you're feeling nervous. There might be times where heat is rising in your body if you're feeling angry or you're feeling sexually aroused. So temperature is also an indicator of what's going on inside of us. And then another sensation is what I call movement, which is a pulsing or a tingling, a streaming. I can feel silky inside of your body, it can feel dense or light. So adjectives, descriptive words to just notice what's going on in your body, and you may even want to choose a place, perhaps your heart space. What is the movement? What is alive? Is it feeling contracted? Is it feeling open? And you will probably intuitively already know that when your body feels more open, when you feel more open for connection, then it allows you to be in a better mood, and it also allows you to be able to connect with others, right? And when you're in a place where you're feeling good and you're open for connection, it also means that you can bring this pleasure and a sexual connection into the space. Whereas if you're really closed off and shut down, it's much harder to start to make that bridge with your partner or even with yourself. You may be feeling like, oh, maybe I don't deserve pleasure. And I'm not even just talking sexual pleasure, I'm just talking having a bath or having a massage or taking some time out. If you're not feeling so good, generally we tend to be less motivated to want to move towards a place of pleasure, right? Of being really open for connection and cooling everything in. And this is neuroscience, this is physiology. When we're not feeling so good or we're in a place of fear, then our tunnel vision starts to come in. We start to narrow down our possibilities of what we can see. And when that starts to happen, we start to feel more insular, more disconnected, and we're less likely to connect with others or do things for ourselves. So by feeling into our body and cultivating and nurturing the sensations and the emotions that we are feeling, we hold space for ourselves. And when we hold space for ourselves to feel good, then we start to feel more positive towards ourselves, towards our body, and we keep the door open to connecting with others. Now, if you are on board with me so far about how sensation or emotion has a physiological response, right? So emotion has a physiological response and it shows up via via sensations, via the things that we feel inside of our body. And we know that we use the example of feeling happy and also feeling stressed. So if we just start to extend that a little bit wider, then we can start to go, well, okay, hang on a second. Every situation that I'm having in life, every relationship, every emotion, whether I'm conscious of it or not, is having a physiological response. And the default for most people is to not want to feel it or not want to go there or just to not create space, right? And this really starts to become obvious when you start looking at your sexual journey. Okay, and this happens for a few reasons. The first one is that when you are being intimate with yourself or your partner, then you are moving your body, okay, you're breathing, you might be making sound, and these are all techniques to help you drop out of the mind and drop into the body. Okay, so it's very difficult to feel a really genuine connection mind to mind. Okay, you can feel a genuine connection mind to mind that's being intellectually turned on by somebody. But if you want to be physically turned on by somebody, you have to be in your body, you have to be feeling the emotions, which means that you also need to trust yourself and feel safe enough to go into your body and feel what's coming up for you. And what's coming up for you could be a sense of aliveness, a sense of pleasure. It could also be a sense of pain or uncomfortability. So when we start to go on this journey of opening up your realms of pleasure and dropping into the body and awakening that sexual desire, it is asking you, it is inviting you to, one, come into your body, two, start to feel safe enough to allow yourself to go there and to feel a full range of emotions. Okay, allow yourself to be safe enough to feel a full range of emotions. And when you start to feel a full range of emotion, you start to feel more alive. Okay, because life now takes on a whole new meaning because you're starting to experience all of it in the moment. And you can also start to bring that into the bedroom because your ability to feel, period, will be direct relation to how much pleasure that you can feel when you're being intimate with yourself or your partner. So, to sum this all up into how, right? Like, how do I start to love my body more? How do I start to get turned on? How do I even start this journey? If I could give you one piece of advice or offering here, it is spending more time feeling the sensations in your body, okay, and connecting in with those because they are the wisdom. Yeah, sometimes I might be feeling pain in my body, or I might be feeling an aliveness or a tingling in my body, and I don't even necessarily know what it's related to, right? But I know that there's something moving for me. I know that I can feel it. Perhaps a more concrete example would be that I fractured my back 4 years ago, and I went to the physio, and then I got to the place where my back was healed. I had no pain, and then a couple of months later, all of a sudden, this pain came back again, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, there's no reason that there should be pain in here." And the physio agreed, so he sent me to a psychologist, and I had a session with the psychologist. I talked about the accident that happened when I fractured my back. I had a massive cry, and after that, the pain was gone. Okay, so that is an example of how if I'd been to the physio and I was just massaging it and trying to crack my back, actually it might not have really done anything because the sensation that I was feeling inside of my body was actually related to an emotion, and an emotional process needed to happen. So if you want to feel more alive, right? If you're ever in like a blah kind of place, you're feeling a bit lost, maybe you don't know how to regulate your emotions so well at the moment, it is about dropping into the body. It's about feeling safe and trusting yourself that you can feel whatever comes up. And it might not be that you're there yet to fully trust and feel safe with yourself, which is why having other people around you is absolutely essential to help you in this process, right? I don't know anyone that's been through a deep personal growth journey that's done it alone. So having support and people to hold you in this place is really, really important. And you deserve that support. You deserve to be able to be held as you go into these deep and sometimes very vulnerable places, right? So you may be thinking like, oh, I would love, it would be awesome if Sarah could just say like, if you want to experience more pleasure, go do all this amazing stuff that's only pleasurable. And if I said that to you, it would be a lie, because if you want to feel more, if you want to feel more pleasure, you have to be open to feeling more, period, right? And you do that by dropping into the body. Anytime you need to make a decision, or anytime that you're feeling unsure about something, maybe you start to get intimate with your partner and you are experiencing a disconnect or a bit of resistance, drop into the body, right? What is your body telling you? What are the sensations that are coming up? You may not understand them straight away, but I absolutely promise you, over time, if you stick with this work, if you allow yourself to continue to feel safe to feel, then the connection that you will open up with yourself, the vulnerability you will open up with yourself, the aliveness you will start to feel in your body will be absolutely magnetic, right? When you allow that for yourself, then you open up a place where you can connect with a partner, with your partner, you can call in a new partner who is open to being vulnerable with you, who wants to connect with you, who wants to experience a deep love, who wants to go to places of incredible pleasure. Yeah. And it's also about opening the door into that journey. So I hope this has been helpful. And I just want to end by saying that often, as children, we understand how our body feels, right? And we're very open to having an emotional release or having a tantrum or feeling whatever it is in the moment. And as we get older into adults, that starts to get kicked out of us, right? Because there's not enough safe spaces generally for us to feel and be able to express. And then, of course, what is um, the asset, I guess, that gets valued in our society, and it's generally our mind, right? How we show up, how we function, how we perform at work, and the ability to drop in the body gets lost over time. And so it's really now time to start to reclaim feeling connected to your body, okay, and what that means, and what would be possible for you in your connection with yourself, to other people, right, to the amazing pleasure that is possible for you to feel in your body when you start to allow yourself to drop in and feel. So thank you so much for joining me. Come join Women's Libido Rising if you're not already in that Facebook group. We share tips and tricks all the time. My name is Sarah. I'm a women's sexuality coach. I absolutely love taking women on this journey into their body, and I've been there myself, and it is the most incredible journey I've ever been on in my life. And I witness this in my clients all the time, and there is no going back when you start to realize the full potential of what is possible for you to feel in your body. Take care, everybody. Mwah.